Welcome back, my students, to a brand new episode of Comic Class. And today's lesson, guys, we're looking at Stanley and Steve Ditko's The Amazing Spider-Man issue 28, The Molten Man. And yeah, this is one of Spider-Man's like B-lister supervillains, in his Rogues Gallery. It definitely has one of the most memorable comic covers from the Steve Ditko Stan Lee run, if not all of the Spider-Man series altogether. And overall, is a really solid issue. So without further ado, let's jump right into this story. Let's go. So this story basically starts off with us seeing Peter Parker, Liz Allen, and Flash Thompson basically getting ready to graduate from high school. And we get to see that Peter witnesses two scientists basically attacking each other. Just one of the scientists doesn't think that the serum that they're working on or something like that is ready, and the other guy basically gets very aggressive and physical and knocks the guy backwards with a punch. And right when Peter is about to try to save the guy, or help him to not lose his experiment to his co-creator, Peter basically gets entangled by one of the scientists' tentacle machines that's supposed to, I believe, like sense spiders and stuff like that, or can sense spiders. Peter comes up with some quick thinking and grabs a jar of spiders, making it seem like the machine's working completely fine, that it had misidentified Peter for the spiders that he was holding instead of him being found out as Spider-Man. And I thought that was really cool. Eventually, we get to see that Peter basically witnesses the two guys get into an argument yet again, and during this argument, one of the guys basically that's trying to take the serum gets like shot with some like electricity or something, some type of beam of energy, and this explodes the canister and drops all the goo that was in it on the guy, all the serum, and this transforms the dude into the Molten Man. And with this, he becomes super durable, basically, and his strength completely increases to ridiculous heights, it seems. He's able to basically destroy a car that he basically got in front of, and the guy basically tried to call him out, and he just grabbed the thing and basically flipped it over and destroyed the hood and stuff like that. And he starts just taking down like phone poles and stuff like that. And Spider-Man gets into costume. Basically, Peter goes and gets into his Spider-Man costume, and he engages in a fight with the Molten Man, and we get a lot of cool hand-to-hand combat panels. And Peter is basically taking tons of hits from the Molten Man. It seems like Spider-Man's hits aren't doing the same amount of damage that the Molten Man is doing to Peter. He's able to use his webbing, but that is easily dismantled by his strength. And the fight just continues. There's a lot of action scenes in this issue. It's very action heavy. Eventually, Peter comes up with the idea to turn off the lights, and this allows him to use his spider sense to basically fight against the Molten Man, and uses his super strong webbing to basically try to get the Molten Man's hands tied up so he can't punch him anymore. This seems to be ineffective because he basically just uses his tied up hands to basically still smash into Spider-Man. Eventually, Spider-Man comes up with the idea to use his spider's speed and his reflexes to basically not get hit. And eventually, I guess he just like tires out or something, and he has the police basically take the Molten Man to jail, and I guess that's where he'll stay. I'm guessing it's gonna be like a special prison cell for superpowered villains, considering that he's maybe like the 7th villain that Spider-Man's faced that he's put into prison that has powers, I think. So you can assume they're already making different types of prison cells for these guys. Now that this has become the norm with the Fantastic Four and now Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery as well. But yeah, so basically after that whole conversation with the Molten Man, Peter goes to Aunt May and they get ready to go to Peter's graduation. Peter tries to talk to Liz Allen before his graduation is able to get finished or started. And she basically tells him that she wants to do a new start and basically make a new name for herself. And it seems like Peter and Flash Thompson are going to be going to the same college, and that's where we'll get introduced to Peter's best friend, Harry Osborn. For those that don't know, I believe that's when he met him in the original comic run. This won't be in the Steve Ditko run. This will be in the John Romita senior run. But yeah, J. Jonah Jameson basically goes to Peter's graduation and is able to try to sweet talk his way for Peter not to leave the Daily Bugle and take his Spider-Man pictures to someone else, like a rival newspaper. And Peter basically got a scholarship for getting the best grades in his class. And overall, these scenes are really good for character development. It shows that the characters are going to be going in a forward direction from this point forward, going to their adult lives. And I really enjoyed that. And Peter contemplating what life is going to be like in college with Flash Thompson is really cool as well. And the issue ends with J. Jonah Jameson basically trying to look good in front of Aunt May, and Aunt May respects J. Jonah Jameson, seeing him as a guy that gave Peter a job that pays, kind of good, and is able to let Peter, go to school and also work hard as an adult. And the issue ends with them just celebrating Peter's graduation and walking away. And we get little hints on what the future might hold with Peter's relationships with Liz Allen and Flash Thompson going to be going in a more adult direction, and how Peter's going to have to handle these relationships. And that's how the issue ends. And yeah, that was Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's The Amazing Spider-Man issue 28, The Molten Man. This one wasn't as long of an issue to really go through. It was a lot of action. It was an action-heavy issue. But as always, with the Stan Lee and Steve Ditko run, there's a lot of good story elements in it as well that balances out the action and pushes the story forward in its narrative. And it seems that we're going to, like I said, go to a more adult direction from this point forward, because this ends Peter Parker / Spider-Man's high school years. And it'll be interesting to be going forward and see what his adult life brings, because that's the majority of the character. Despite what people might say with him being in high school for a long time, it only lasts for 28 issues. From this point forward, it's going to be, him in his adult life. I believe his high school years is like 5% or 10% of his entire comic book history. So yeah, we're definitely going to the long run from this point forward. And like I said, we'll see when we finish the Steve Ditko, Stan Lee run, if we're going to go into the John Romita senior run. I probably am, because I do want to experience that run and bring it to you guys. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below, comment down below what you thought of this issue. And if you haven't already, go check out all the previous videos in the Amazing Spider-Man Stan Lee Steve Ditko playlist. It will be at the end of this video in the end card. And yeah, until next video, guys, God bless you. Until the next lesson, keep on reading those comics.